Hey everyone. Hey y'all. Hey. It has been interesting backstage today, y'all. It has been an interesting few moments backstage, but it's all good. We are here and we are ready to get this party started. I am Sybil, your host here at MilSpouse Conversations, and we are on episode number 6 of The Conversation, brought to you by our sponsor, USAA. All right, ladies, are you ready? Y'all ready?
We are ready. We're here.
Hey, yo, it has been a that's all I can say. It's been a We have a special guest with us tonight as we talk about what our civilian family and friends want to know about military life. But before we get into our topic, let me go ahead and slap this slide up, introducing you to our special guest. Y'all, I'm hot. I'm hot. Oh my gosh, I'm hot. I am hot. I am sweating. For real. I am sweating. Hold on. Let me slap this screen up here. Oh, what happened? Oh no. Okay, I can't see my computer screen at all. Can y'all hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
You can hear me. Okay, something has happened with StreamYard. All right. It is technical difficulty day. Goodness gracious.
Malfunction Thursday. I don't know.
Oh, goodness. But that's all right. We're going to roll with it. This is live TV, y'all. All right, let's introduce our special guest, Miss Serena. Is my slide coming up? My slide is not coming up.
It's up. I can see it.
Can you see it?
I did, and then it went away.
Mm-hmm.
What is going on here? Okay, Serena, go ahead and introduce yourself while I fight with this. Screen.
I'm Serena Groves. I'm newly married. Well, like 13 months, I think. And I live in Texas. And yeah. My husband works in the oil field.
Keep talking. What is going on? I don't know what's going on with my screen.
Serena's my sister-in-law, for y'all that don't know. I know you've seen her a few times if you're at our social hours and after darks.
Yeah.
What else, Serena? What's something about you that most people probably wouldn't know first meeting you?
I'm super antisocial.
What? No, you're not.
Seriously.
Yeah, she's a little bit of a homebody.
Yeah.
Girl, look, you be hanging out with us chatting in those social hours. I would never guess.
Yeah.
Hey, Sybil, that's because we're a safe space. We got her.
Hey, you know, we are safe. And Serena, I just want to let you know, Sasha is not attending today. Okay. Sasha will not be attending the conversation. And y'all like, who is Sasha? That's an after dark. All right. Thank you so very much, Grace, for taking over. Because I was literally fighting with StreamYard. I don't know what was going on there.
Yeah, it's been a funny day.
Yeah, I couldn't see my screen. I'm like, I can't do anything right now.
Our audio messed up a second ago, so.
Yeah, so weird.
Hey, we just roll with it.
Hey, just adding to the pile. Carlos wants to talk.
I'm gonna show y'all while Carlos was barking. Goodness gracious. Dear, say hello to the world.
Hello.
Thank you. Love you. Okay. That's my husband, y'all. That's my husband. All right, let's go ahead and dive in and talk about what our civilian family and friends want to know about military life. And we're going to let Serena just fire off all of her questions that she has for us. Because, hey, you know what? The other thing I want to throw in real quick, I found this out the hard way, and actually probably about 3 years into military life, is that it was different across the branches. I thought everyone's life was the same, right? I'm like, you're a military spouse, I'm a military spouse. Hey, we deal with the same sugar. But no, we don't. It does differ within the branches. So go right ahead, Serena. Fire away.
So I think my first question would be, what is it like to move all the time? And is adjusting easy?
Well, I love to move all the time. I'm not going to lie. I'm like, it's been 2 years. It's time to roll out. It's time to go. I will have to say this has probably been the hardest. This move here to California has probably been the hardest adjustment for me. And I think it's coming from the East Coast to the West Coast. A West Coast vibe is so different than East Coast. But, you know, I really just show up and take it head on. I don't really let it bother me. And I like people. Well, sometimes. So so the moving part doesn't really bother me.
Okay. What do you think makes it so hard to move from like the East Coast to the West Coast?
I've yet to live on the East Coast, so I can't answer that one. That's not a me question. I don't know.
Like, to me, I would just think they're the same.
No, like Sybil said, the vibe is different. And it's like one of those things I think you don't notice unless you've lived in both in some way, and you'll notice it. It's like the small idiosyncrasies and the vibe, and it's different. We lived in Washington State, and I had grown up on the East Coast, so yeah, it was completely different.
Yeah.
But you can't really explain it, I think. So
See, like me, I tell my husband whenever we moved into our house, I'm like, we're not moving. I don't want to box my house up again and do it all over again. No thanks.
yeah, that's the part I don't like is the actual packing, the unpacking, and then for me the hardest part of adjusting is just setting up new doctors and dentists for me and the kids and eye doctors and hair cutters and all that kind of stuff. Hair cutters.
Yeah, it's like resetting your life over
Yeah,
again.
every time. And I've found myself putting off dentist appointments because I'm just so done with with constantly having to refill out all that dang paperwork.
Yeah. Okay, so my second question would be, what is the best duty station y'all have been stationed at?
Ooh. Japan, Yokosuka, Japan. That has been the best.
Really? Why? I'm curious why.
I love the food. I know, you're like, Sybil. Now, in Yokosuka, my husband was on sea duty. So he was away from us a lot, but it also gave us a lot of opportunities to travel. So when they would have port visits, we're Navy. So when they would have port visits, me and the girls would fly to wherever they were, but we were always taking a gamble, right? Because the ship could not pull in. But hey, we had the tickets. We were going regardless.
That's so cool.
That is cool.
Pendleton's nice because it's so huge and you have options to, you know, you can live on the north side and you can experience like the San Clemente life, or you can be on the south side and do like the whole ocean side. And I would say that's a different vibe depending on if you live on the north side and the south side, and that's just like a 35-minute drive. So yeah, you can get a little bit of a taste of different things living on Pendleton. And there's so much. I mean, everybody talks about Cali, right? Like the weather's great, the beaches, you're right on the ocean. So won't believe me, because she came in a year with like some weirdo weather, but normally we have
y'all have lied to me about California. I'm like, y'all have thunderstorms. Y'all told me it never rained.
Y'all, you brought that East Coast to us. That's on you, Sybil. You're bringing that East Coast weather over here.
It followed us.
Yeah, but you got your amusement parks, and you got hiking. You kind of got a little bit of everything in Pendleton, so it's nice. It's nice.
You said hiking, but there's critters in California, so no, we're not hiking.
We have sorry.
For me, I like the West Coast better than the East Coast. But
if Serena could live in Cali, she would.
Yeah, easy. But my husband's a country boy. That ain't gonna fly.
Yeah, we're over here in Florida and in Jacksonville, and we've been in and out of Jacksonville several times. And every time we come back, it feels like home. So I personally love Jacksonville, Florida. It's kind of almost, we really did like Whidbey when we were over there in Whidbey. But again, being from the East Coast, I just feel like we're more centrally located here. It's nice and sunny. There's so much to do. And it's just, I love it. I love it over here. So that's been my favorite.
I feel like the East Coast has super bad humidity.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Humidity. But Japan in the summer though, I think is even worse.
Yes.
I mean, you can't live without a dehumidifier.
No. And I learned that lesson the hard way.
You came home to mold.
I had my hair flat ironed. Went to the paid all that money to have it flat ironed, walked out, and it said, poof. I'm like, never mind.
Oh, my God.
So I showed up at the ball with I showed up at the Navy ball with a poof ball. Sorry, guys. The lawn folks are out mowing, too, today. Today is just one of those days, and everybody's interrupting me with my time.
Let's see. Do you guys find it easy to make new friendships with either other spouses each time you move or civilians?
That's an interesting question. Because I think that depends on who you want to hang out with. Do you want to hang out with spouses? Do you want to hang out with civilians?
Yeah. I usually go for the locals. I seek out the civilians. The locals, wherever I am. I don't care if it's overseas or here in the States. I am seeking out a local because I want to know all of the local good spots to eat. I don't want to go to the tourist spots. I want to go, hey, we going to your grandma's to eat that. Go. But yeah, I tend to, most of my friends that I have made and held on to, it's a mixture of military and non-military. But we usually live out in town. We don't live on base. We are living on base right now, or military housing, they call it, I guess. But usually we live out in town. So my neighbors are civilians, and I'm from Tennessee originally. So it's like, hello, neighbor. So yeah, that's who I tend to gravitate toward.
Yeah, I wouldn't say that I seek one out over the other. I think for me, it's like, hey, whoever wants to be my friend first. I'm available. So, like whoever's close, I have a tendency to stay within like my 5-mile radius, and for the most part, but I do have to say I'm pretty good about seeking out like MilSpouse events. So that that's how I met Sybil. and well, kind of half and half, but
No, I'm like, no, Anna, that is not how we met.
well, I feel like after that, but first it was through. So yeah, I do my beauty consultant job, and so that gets me to meet a lot of people. And I used to do dog walking with Rover, and I would meet people through that. So in all those ways, I get out there. But yeah, I feel like it's just whoever shows up first. I'll be your friend.
Yeah, I think it's a good idea to kind of just stay open. You never know who you're gonna meet, right? So you don't want to like decide one or the other. Everybody's just a person at the end of the day. So you can vibe with different people anytime.
Exactly. I'm sorry, I'm looking over here because the lawn guy is mowing right here by my window right now. And I'm like, no. For me, when I meet people, I'm like, hey, my initial thought is, hey, you like to eat. We are going to be best friends. Yeah, I'm not really seeking out one or the other. I really don't care who you are. I'm like, oh, your name is Anna? Cool. You seem like a cool person? Let's hang. Sure, I'll come to your house. I don't know you, but I'll show up at your house. You said snacks and makeup. You got me.
Do you guys prefer base housing or, military housing over, like living off base?
I wouldn't live on base if I could not live on base.
Why?
Housing is old, and I would say for what they take in BAH, I don't feel like I'm getting my money's worth, honestly. I feel like it's a house to put us in. We got orders. Here's your house, and then that's it. You gotta be calling to get your house fixed every so often. At least where we've been, with like Lincoln Military and stuff, it's been rough. They're the paint over bugs type of company, not the come clean your house type of company. So it's a no for me if I have a choice. But sometimes it's nice though, because that is how you meet friends and you meet people and you get to know the area, and especially like if you're on short orders or anything like that, base is always a safe place to land until you can figure out, what you need to do. Sorry, my kiddo's in the background.
Hey, look, today is the Wild and Free Thursday up at VA Conversations. Okay, it is all good. You know what, Serena? I prefer off base. We've lived. Hold on, Anna, go ahead and answer because he's right here.
Yeah, I'm the same, off base all the time. The only time I didn't want that was when we did move to Japan, and I did prefer on base. It just kind of took a lot of the stress out of it. And they did everything there for you, and that in terms of getting you moved in and all that. And so I liked that. But anywhere in the States, I'm going to want to live off base most likely. So unless they have some sort of, brand spanking new base house that is standalone with a water view, maybe a pool, I'd probably consider that. But I haven't heard of that one yet.
Yeah. Like when we were in Japan, we preferred on-base housing or military housing. Because now it's like, is the right term on base or is it military? I don't know. It's like, whatever it is. It's owned by the military or privatized by the government, whomever, whatever it is. When we were in Japan, we preferred to live in military housing. Here, we were looking out in town, but we made the choice to do on-base housing because of my medical emergency. And so my husband was like, hey, let's just do base housing. Someone is always around. Someone is always looking. So if they don't see you for a few days, they'll knock on the door and ask the kids where you are. I'm like, well, hopefully the kids would be like, hey, something is wrong. Because my kids are older, so they know. But I prefer off base. The same reason as Grace. I feel like I get more for my buck out in town. And then also for my husband, he can come home and relax. They don't always feel like they have to be on, right? Because you walk out the door, okay, there's someone. Do I work with you? Am I going to see you at work? Are you going to want to talk shop all the time? Because, hey, when you are home, you are home. We are not talking about work. Leave that at the front door. I feel sometimes with military housing, you're sitting outside enjoying a glass of wine and your neighbor walks up and what do? They start talking to you about work. And I'm sometimes rude because I'm like, go. We're not here. We're sitting outside chilling. We don't want to talk about work right now. Talk to him tomorrow morning. So yeah. But I do like maintenance. Not gonna lie. Because hey, if it breaks, I'm gonna call you and it's your responsibility. We own a house in Virginia, and if something broke, hey, it was all on us.
For sure.
Yeah.
So I'm like, your dishwasher is leaking. Oh, you can't send anyone out to fix it? All right. No, we literally had to have them come and take out half of our wall in our washroom because it was leaking. And I was like, hey, it is soaking wet. Oh, we can get someone. Hey, it's your wall. I don't care. I'm just letting you know it's wet. It is really wet. There is water coming out from the baseboards. You coming? Nope.
So, since y'all live on base, how friendly are your neighbors? Because we've lived here in Texas about a year. Well, me anyway. And my neighbors, I think I've met them like once. And maybe I'm not approachable. I don't know, because I'm antisocial. But my husband can walk outside and he's like, hey, brother, how's it going? Blah, blah, blah. No, not me.
I see my neighbor, but it's just like a what's up, and that's it. We had not, they had not, and that's good. But I think it also just depends on I don't know, luck of the draw. Sometimes you get a really cool one that'll talk to you and hang out, whatever, and the other ones don't want anything to do. I mean, we've had our fair share of some interesting neighbors. It's a whole thing with us, but right now we're good. Right now, neighbors, if you're watching, we like you. It's good. It's good.
I was just gonna say, are the neighbors watching? That might make your answer different.
I don't know, but we're cool. It's all good.
Look, I feel this way. We may all be military. We may all be military families, but we are still also just people, right? So our commonality is the category of being a military family. But outside of that, hey, you are who you are, and I may not really get down with who you are as a person. Now, for me, with my neighbors, my two immediate neighbors, I do chat with them. One around the corner, I know through a mutual friend, but everyone else, I'm like, and I ride through the neighborhood like this.
Exactly.
And sometimes, I'm not even gonna lie, y'all. Sometimes I turn my music up. And let me make sure you understand my message that I am sending to you. No. Everyone seems to be cool. I just have not been as friendly as usual because I'm usually very friendly and outgoing and hey, how you doing? But lately I'm just kind of like, and my husband's like, you're not talking to anyone. They can talk to me too. Like it's a two-way street. But living in DC, when we were in DC, Serena, we lived next door. Actually, our entire community, we were there for 5 years. And we talked to one family in that neighborhood. They were all civilian. 5 years, and no one said a word to us.
Oh boy.
That's crazy.
I was like, excuse me, can we borrow your snow shovel? We came from Tennessee and Mississippi. We don't do this. We light stuff, snow. And they were all just like,
So I've been there. My other sister actually lived there, and they're just they're not very friendly. Kind of rude.
but now we came from DC this go around. My first time in DC, I couldn't handle it. Maybe that's why I don't talk to people now. I assimilated to their ways. And now I'm just like, that
That's
answers the
hilarious.
question. That's why I'm just like,
That's so funny.
Okay, my other question is, what are deployments like, and how is it adjusting again to your spouse being gone and coming home?
The first one, I would say, is the toughest because you think you know what to expect, but then it's a whole nother ballgame. After that, for me at least, it's like a routine, right? Deployment, okay, we got to get through it. We got to make it work. I have all my stuff. My life goes on. My kids are still here. We still got to do A, B, C, and D. He's going to go do what he's going to do. And then we'll work on whatever we need to work on when he comes back. Now, integration is a whole other ballgame. You got to get them back into your routines. They got to get used to what you're doing. I mean, I had littles when he left, and they're walking, talking, and doing all kinds of stuff by the time he gets home, and he doesn't expect that. So I realize I have to kind of teach him ultimately, right? Like you have your partner back, but you got to teach him how we do things again. And I think that part can be a little tough. And I know, like, I assume in the civilian world, you know, y'all see like homecomings and like the videos and the pictures, right? And you're like, oh, so sweet. That's so amazing. And it is most times. But after that, you know, it's a whole thing after. You gotta, it's a whole thing after, you know?
Because as a civilian, I would think like it's fairy tale land after that because they've been gone so long, like.
Nah, sometimes you're like, go back. Let's be real.
yes.
I wasn't ready. I'm not ready. Can you get an extension?
Yes, you're like, wait a minute, you are messing up my routine.
Yeah.
And then sometimes it's like, wait, who are you? I feel like, are we dating? What is this? Who is this person in my home?
For sure.
But it usually takes about a day, maybe just a day. And then it's like, you know.
Dang, Anna, you got that on lock.
Right. Anna said a day. And look, I'm like, what? Tell us your secret.
Hey,
Girl.
you got to tell me those tricks.
It's been what, 25 years now of us doing deployments. So now, yeah, it's weird at first, but it doesn't take as long now for me to assimilate back. But yeah, the first, like Grace said, the first ones were super hard, very difficult. So I don't know if it's just that I'm aware of what's going on now, and but it's still hard. You know, but I think it's just not as much of a shock as it was in the beginning. So, and now I think with technology the way it is, I have more access, you know, more, I can talk to them. Whereas before it was like you didn't know when you would get a phone call for how long, and there was always a delay on the line. Definitely no video calls, stuff like that. So, yeah.
Our very first deployment, my husband was on subs. So when he left, he was gone. There was no communication other than we could write letters that we sent out with them before they left, or they called them, what they call them, family grams. But little did I know someone else was reading them before they went to my husband. Yeah. Yeah. I was like, oh, okay, I will never write that again. But I remember when he first, you know, when he was gone, I just continued on with my life as usual. You know, I had my own career, so I was doing my thing. the weekends, I would stay in the bed all day and watch Lifetime Movie Network and eat Taco Bell. Hey, that was my go-to. I don't know why, but that's what I did. And it was just the two of us. We didn't have kids at that time. And so when he came home, I didn't really know what to expect, right? And I thought life was going to be right back to where we left off. And we were newlyweds. So I was still in this newlywed mindset. And that's not where he was. And I was a little, I was a handful at that time because I wanted him to be the same man that he was when he left. And I didn't understand, oh, he's been away, he's been on a boat under the ocean, right? And that was, it didn't take a toll on our marriage, but I guess that does play with your psyche a little bit, right? So now he's on ships, he's on when we were in Japan, he was on an aircraft carrier, and we had kids. So that was a whole different ball game for us at that point, right? Because we had kids, they were preschool and elementary school age. But I was like, hey, look, when you come home, you are getting back into our routine. That's what you're going to do. And I put my foot down, and that's how we rolled.
Is it hard for the kids to adjust whenever they come back?
It wasn't for us. No, the girls, it was always, even when he left, it was just like, Daddy's gone to work. Daddy's coming home. And while he was away, when he would call, we always talked first. He talked to the kids after he and I talked, because we just have this system, and we've been like this since ever since we said I do, ever since we got married, ever since we got married, is I'm first and then the kids. So when he would call, I would chat with him for however long, and then he would talk to the girls. How's your day? How you doing? Love you. Bye. But my husband is very quiet anyway. So the kids are used to me being like I'm like, hey, they always tell me, Mommy, you're always yelling and screaming. So, they actually, for deployments, they would miss him being around because he's that buffer. He's the buffer. But no, we just continued life as normal.
Yeah, there's the kids are mine didn't have I guess it was because they weren't as much of aware as what was going on before until this last one, the most recent one. And that one was really hard for them to adjust to him being gone. But then when he came back, I think the adjustment there wasn't much. But, I do have friends who I know they have to completely readjust, and it takes longer. I think it just depends on the kid and the family dynamic. Maybe, I'm not really sure. So everybody's so different with it, and it is a sensitive topic. I mean, you even get help with it from, we in the Navy, we call it Fleet and Family. They help you go through that process. So it is something I think that you should be aware of, and kind of think about it and about the process and all of the emotional stages that you go through. And I think that's helpful once you're aware of all that.
Yeah. And I just kept open communication with the girls. So my youngest, she was 3. Yeah, she was 3 or 4. And we literally, she didn't even know what was going on. And I have a picture. She's walking, holding the sea bag with my husband. We had just arrived in Japan. We had been there for 2 weeks. And we went and dropped it. We were dropping him off to fly out to meet the ship. She had no clue what was going on. So we had moved her to a foreign country, was living in a hotel. We moved into this house literally 2 days before he left. And, I was just like, hey, Daddy's going to work. He'll be home when he gets home. And when she would ask, where's Daddy? Oh, he's at work. And that was always my answer. And she's, oh, can I sleep with you? And so she took on this protector role. She had to sleep with me to protect me. Oh, that answers questions now because she's 13 and she is still protecting me. She doesn't want to sleep with me anymore, but it's still, oh, come here. Let me protect. Ooh, sorry. That just made me think about something. Let me write that down. That started way back when she was 3 because, yeah, I did. I told her she was the protector. While daddy was away, she was the protector.
Now with their homecomings, how do you guys integrate back with like not immediate family but like extended families? Do you guys take some time for yourself first, or are they the type that like smother you once they come in? They want to be there too.
You are not coming to homecoming.
Point blank.
You look, as a matter of fact, they don't even know. My family, his family, they do not even know when the ship is coming home. Nope. Mm-mm. Well, but can't talk about ship movement anyway. But, yeah, no. And they're not going to come visit. I need you to stay away for at least 3 months because we have some catching up to do. Sorry.
Yeah,
Not sorry.
Yeah, I would say I don't have like I would say you do need that time with your immediate family. The rest of them can come later. But I do have MilSpouse friends who say that, their in-laws or whatever will be there that day, or something like that, or right before the spouse is leaving. And I think that those two are just too stressful times, and nobody's acting normal, and and you need that space, like you respect that space. So yeah.
And you need that time for reintegration, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because you're look, I'll just keep my comments to myself because there's several things going on during that homecoming, and even before they were leaving. Now, my mother-in-law was at our house in Japan for one of the deployments when my husband was leaving, and that was stressful for me because we were taking him to the ship. He was leaving. The ship didn't leave, so we were waiting. Then I'm taking him. The ship still didn't leave. We did that back and forth for a while. But she was stressed. She was upset. She was emotional. And I'm like, yo, look, I can't handle you. Like, I am trying to go on with, and I wasn't being mean about it. And me and my mother-in-law, we have a great relationship. But I was like, hey, look, I know this is your son. I know you are emotional about this, but this is what we do. This is the life of, she's like, but you don't seem to be bothered by it. Nah, look, when I drive to the exchange and I look over to the left at the pier and I see the ship gone, he's gone. Until that happens, I don't care how many times I drop him off. He's still here until, because when they're gone, they're gone, they're gone.
Well, and two, if you can't have that, like she's saying, it seems like you're acting like nothing's happening. But if you act like that every single time, I mean, that would just wear you out, emotionally. So you do have to come up with coping skills, like good coping skills, So yeah, I think that's a good way to go about it. Like I know exactly what you're talking about with how you take them and then it doesn't leave.
Yeah. I think too, when you have kids and you have other family around and they're not used to, like Sybil was saying, drop off, pick up, or time changes, whatever it may be going on, they're getting stressed out. People are frustrated. People are picking at each other. The kids are seeing and experiencing all that, right? If they're not there and we're used to this, you can give them a more calm and stable farewell and not worry about what's about to happen, instead of, you know, piquing their emotions and being like, oh, what's going on? Like, what's happening? Is this a big deal type thing? So I think it's very important in the very beginning when you're dropping them off, and at the end when they're coming back, to have that your circle, right? Like, that's your family. Sorry, they're in the background. To have your family time, and then later on you share that time with the rest of your family.
Mm-hmm. And look, even at pickups, our first deployment, well, I got to the point, and I don't know how you handled homecomings in Japan, but I didn't even go meet Marcus at the pier. I was like, call me when you're ready. The first time I went, and I'm like, okay, we waited for hours and waited. And I'm like, everyone is coming off the ship but him. Where is he at? And I'm waiting and waiting and waiting. And my oldest did not want to go. She said she had a test, so she couldn't miss school for a test. Girl, you do not have a test. This teacher is not giving y'all a test today. He knows this ship is coming home. You are not having a test. She went to school anyway, whatever. But after that, I was like, I'm not coming to the pier. Call me when you're ready. And actually, one of my good friends just gave him a ride. She's like, oh, I'm here. My husband's ready. I'll drop Marcus off for you. I'm like, thank you.
Yeah, that was, oh my gosh. Yeah, those homecomings with the ships. It's like the trash comes off first. You see all the trash bags coming off. And for us, it was like hours and hours. And I'm pretty sure he was the last one off. And the kids are crying. And like you said, I just, you know, and even with the when they're leaving, I'm like, I just want to drop you off and go. I don't want to go hang out. I just want to be done with it, you know? So those are hard, the waiting.
Yeah.
Sorry, we have a lot going on over here. Traveling and a TV show, man. Who said it was going to be smooth?
Hey, this is real life.
It sure is.
Her uncle's supposed to be watching her and keeping her quiet, but
clearly. They're having a little too much fun over there. I don't know. What other questions do you have, Serena? I have a question for Serena. Okay. I want to know, but you can't really base it off of me because, I mean, we're close, but like before military, what was your idea of military spouses? Like, do you fall into that, like, the stigma around, like, the dependa word, right? We get that all the time. Or do you fall in the line of more where the group is like, they're very independent people, they're very strong-willed? Do you fall somewhere in the middle? Like, what's your perception of that from the outside?
So I think in the beginning, prior to being around y'all so much, I thought, you know, y'all were like,
hey, just say it. Like, you're gonna be offended. It's all good.
That it wasn't.
Look, I'm like, wait a minute.
That it wasn't hard.
Feel loud at another social hour? No.
That it wasn't hard, and it was just like, you know, y'all depended on them more than I think their support comes from y'all. And then being around y'all so much, I got to see, like, it is really tough, and y'all are really strong. Because my husband works 2 weeks at a time, and he alternates days and nights. And at nights, I'm like, I don't want to be here by myself, so I go home to my parents or to his parents' house because I don't want to be alone. So I couldn't even imagine, like, everything y'all go through.
I see, and I look forward. Okay, this is going to sound really bad, but I'm just going to say it. I often look forward to that alone time. I do. I said it out loud. I've asked my husband before. I'm like, hey, is it time for you to go out to sea? What are you doing? He said, do you not love me? Yes, I love you, dear. I do, but you need to go. Go TDY, go somewhere. But no, I mean, I think, you know, as a military spouse, And really, I look at it as just as any spouse, as anyone. You, guys, hold on. I have some, hold on.
Oh, do we lose them? It's all good. I think it depends also. Like, you know, you can have one perspective of spouses, but it totally depends, like, what branch you're in. Do you have kids? What does your career look like? What is your, like, confidence and independence level looks like? All those different things, because that's all going to shape how you're able to handle the military situations. And so, like, Marine Corps, right, like, we're not like Navy and other ones where, like, they're on ship all the time. Our deployments are a lot to land, you know, and we do have more contact in those ways, or they're shorter deployments than Army has at times. But then on the flip side, they can go to combat zones very often, and they can do all these different things. So it kind of just depends on your situation. And yeah, it's really hard, because I truly feel like sometimes too, like when I'm talking to locals and stuff, they hear military and you either get like a really negative connotation back, or you get this like, oh, thank you so much, that's so cool, tell me more. And so I never really like had to deal with that before. And then once I kind of started getting that, it just makes me curious of like, what do civilians think, you know?
Do you guys think it's weird when people come up and like thank like your spouse or yourself for the service?
You can thank my husband as much as you want, but don't tell me that. Like, it's awkward.
Yes.
Yeah. It's so, like, what am I supposed to say? Like, I'm literally still living my life.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's just life. Not just, but it's my life, you know? And it's no difference to my neighbor who's raising her kids and doing whatever she's doing. The only difference is that my husband's somewhere else right now, you know? And so I understand and I appreciate that, but it's weird, y'all. It's just weird.
It is very awkward, because I'll find myself just standing there thinking, and I don't know what the question was. Sorry, guys. Technical difficulties over here today. But, you know, someone, oh, thank you for your service. And I'm like, thank you. You're welcome. I don't know what to say. And then, like, you just walk away and you're like, or if you don't say anything, then they're just looking at you like you're a weirdo, right?
Yeah.
So I'm like, I'm going to feel like a weirdo or look like a weirdo. Either which way. But
You
yeah,
get like, go ahead, sorry.
Yeah, as Grace said, you know, for me, I'm out here living my life, doing my thing, raising my kids, cooking, taking care of the household, as you are, Serena. You know, I'm like, my husband's job is the military. That's his job. But at the end of the day, we're all out here living, trying to survive. Yeah, he might go away for months at a time, but I also look at it like this. There are other careers that are away as well. Now, I know someone's going to be like, Sybil, and there is a difference. I understand there is a difference, but for me, as his spouse, I am just doing what I'm doing. If I was married to, I mean, he's Navy. So if I was married to a car salesman, if he was an accountant, I would be doing the same thing, taking care of my kids, complaining about what I wasn't going to cook for dinner, because I'm not cooking dinner tonight. Same thing.
So I think one of my big questions is, what does y'all's support system look like when they are gone and when they're home? Do you guys get like support from extended families, or is it the family you form with the military?
Well, someone decided to join us this evening. Then she turned her camera off.
I think there's a big misconception, honestly, or at least in my opinion and my experience, of like when you're a military family, you automatically have a military family outside of yours. Like, you know, when you get to a new duty station, you don't always have this like group of people. You don't have your village right away, and you ultimately don't get it unless you build it. So I think there is a big like, you assume, right? Like, oh, you have all these people around, but you don't always do. And then I would say, I think it depends on your family dynamic. I think us personally, I want to say this, but some people are more involved when there are deployments, when there are trainings, when there are other things going around, because they want to know. I mean, I think that's reality, right? In the military life, they just want to know. And then when it is us, I do see that our circle gets a little smaller, you know, because then it seems as we're just like any other family, right? He's home, now they're back to normal. And I just like, to me, we're normal the entire time. It's just he's working his job. So you get that, you know, they want to be a part of it. Not this one though, she's there all the time.
I think we talk like 5 times a day.
Yeah, we talk all the time, you know, and I think even through like, you know, through that you do build with certain people in your family, you know, you do have those connections because you do need those support at the end of the day.
Yes. Julie commented saying, you know, even friends that don't quite get it, but can let you vent and support you. Yeah. And, you know, I have civilian friends who they don't understand the life, but they have been more of a support to me than military spouse friends, right? Because as I said, we're human beings. Yeah, we are all military spouses, but we are still all human beings. And sometimes you have your own things going on in your life that, okay, you can't be there to support. But also, as Grace said, when you move somewhere, or even if you've been somewhere for 5 years, you just don't have your community. And that's okay. And, you know, I hear it often and see it often too. You know, people come in like, oh, well, I thought this was all one big community and everyone is there to support one another. No, again, we're still individuals. So at the end of the day, your neighbor may or may not be there as a support system for you. Someone in your command may or may not be there as a support system for you. And I always say this, hey, they have their own sugar that they are dealing with, whether it's military related, excuse me, or not. So I look for my support. I have a very small circle and I keep my circle tight. And that's who's there. Now, as far as our family, yeah, they're there to support. They don't understand. So a lot of times I'm just like, hey, no. But, you know, again, I take everything with the grain of salt, right? I'm like, okay, you punched me with the left, or that's my right hand. You punched me with the right, you punched me with the left. I'm going to keep rolling. I've been it'll be 20 years, March 30th, that I've been doing this. And my attitude toward military life hasn't changed from day one. I came in with the attitude of, hey, I'm Sybil Jones. I am not a military spouse. I am Sybil Jones. Now, I am a military spouse, but I was like, identifying wise, I am Sybil Jones. And, you know, when I build my circle of friends, I keep them close. Kind of as we talked last year, we did an episode about friends. I told y'all my 3 types. It still holds true. I won't repeat that today.
Okay, Anna, what about you?
Can you repeat the question?
Right, because you're like, Sybil, you went way on a whole nother tangent.
I would be a horrible, the person that you ask questions to. I'd be like, can you write that so I can read it?
I think my question was, I'm trying to remember my question. Hold on.
Because I went off on a whole nother tangent.
Her question was about, I don't know word for word, but it was basically about how family supports you during deployments and outside of deployments,
Okay, yeah.
and how your community supports you deployment and on and off.
Yeah, for me, that has always depended on where we lived at the time, I think. So yeah, my family's always there if I call them, they'll talk and visit here and there. I never had the family that was there all the time or called all the time. That's, doesn't bother me or anything, but, I think definitely the MilSpouse community that you have there at the time is key to getting through it. And whatever community you have around you, I think you have to build it. I mean, you have to reach out, and if people reach out to you, you have to reach back out. You can't clam up and hide. You have to get out there and look for that support and be a part of the community. I think that's the biggest thing, is being a part of the community you're in. And you'll get as much back as you give. So that's what I was.
Yeah, and Anna, you do have to get out and be part of the community, but also understand that sometimes that community that you're trying to be a part of may not be the community that you need to be a part of at that time. Because again, I hear people say, "Oh, well, there's no one there to support me." Okay, that particular community, that small group, and when I say community, I mean, because there's different things going on, different organizations, different support systems for this life. I'm like this life, but for MilSpouses, right?
Yeah.
That maybe that just isn't the fit for you, and that's okay. It is all right. There's someone out there for you. I promise.
Yeah.
Maybe it's MilSpouse Conversations. Just saying. Sorry, I had to. Actually, I'm not sorry for throwing that plug out there. Because, hey, you want a laid back group to hang out with? That's us. Just wild and free. Look, Nashida over here just shaking her head. Girl,
we don't have daylight savings time in Japan. I didn't know. We don't have daylight savings time here. So here is my regular time. I'm actually.
Hey, they just put a bill through the Senate to get rid of it here. So, right.
I don't think they should do that. It'd be dark here at like 3:30 sometimes. That's for the birds. But hi, everybody. Sorry I missed the show. Sybil's gonna beat me. I'm just glad I'm not in the States. She will find me.
I am going to go buy my ticket for Japan right now.
I'm not worried.
I booked my flight. I'm on the next flight out. It's leaving in 3 hours.
I'm not in trouble. I heard what y'all was talking about, though. It's good I missed the show. Y'all would have been like, kick her off.
Well, guys, you know what? It is 6 o'clock, so we're going to go ahead and end this segment, but we're going to have Serena back so we can finish this conversation. Actually, you guys need to come on and join us on the 24th for our After Dark and get in behind the scenes and talk with us. Because our After Darks are a time for you to come into a closed segment. It's not streamed live, and we just chat, and we will talk about what our civilian family and friends want to know about military life. Look, Julie said that she is in trouble. In trouble. Trouble.
It's so much fun. I'm always here. I'm usually here. It's just the time. I did miss talking to Serena, though. Like, I miss talking to everybody. I'm happy to see everybody.
I think you just didn't want to talk to me.
I love talking to you. Love talking to all y'all. Always happy to see Serena.
All right. Serena, are you going to join us on the 24th?
Yes.
After dark?
Yes.
I just put you on the spot.
We'll still be together, so she's going to have to.
All right. Well, thank you for joining us tonight, guys.
Thank you for having me. It was so interesting.
Yes, and you're going to come back.
Yes.
And hopefully we won't have technical difficulties. So we don't sound like robots in the beginning.
Y'all, that was a whole thing. I thought y'all were on true crimes. Hiding your voice or something. That was crazy.
But we made it through. We made it through. We had some craziness going on. I still have craziness going on over here.
Same.
I think I'm going to go have myself a margarita.
Hey.
It's 5 o'clock. All right. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in. And be sure to keep an eye out. We will have registration. I will have it ready to go tomorrow. Go to www.MilSpouseConversations.com or go to our Facebook page. Actually, let me drop that here for you real quick. Sorry, my bad. I do not have my life together. You can follow us on MilSpouse Conversations on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, TikTok. And you will also get all the tea about our After Dark and any of our all of our upcoming episodes, because we do air live every first and third Thursday of the month at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And Nishida.
Okay. I know now. I mean, I felt like daylight saving time is in April or something. I don't know. I just missed it.
Get your life together. All right. Thank you, guys. Have a good night.
Thank you.
Bye.